Allen, a principal figure in the Florida State offense. The Seminoles winning their 6th a week ago, and if a sore leg allows him today, Greg Allen will pass the 1,000-yard mark for the 2nd straight year. He had 223 yards last week. The South Carolina Gamecocks, a Cinderella college football team of 1984. They've won 8 straight, coming from behind with a 25 fourth-quarter outburst last week to beat NC State 35-28. Today, South Carolina will try for a school record 9th straight win against Florida State. South Carolina ranked 5th in the nation, highest ever for the Gamecocks. They've never had an undefeated season. Florida State ranked 10th, a gambling whirlwind capable of whipping anybody on a given day anywhere. South Carolina coach Joe Morrison, 2nd season here in the Gamecock. Partisans and players are beginning to think he may have the key to the promised land. We'll find out today. The weather is glorious for this meeting today, the 12th between Florida State and South Carolina, and never has there been the kind of stakes we have in a Gamecock Seminole game like we have today. Next on ABC presents from out of the South, CFA football. The Florida State Seminoles and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Another $1 million game. It is a capacity crowd on a clear, sunny, warm afternoon in Columbia, South Carolina, as the undefeated Gamecocks of South Carolina will host the Seminoles of Florida State. And here comes Florida State into the stadium. The Seminoles are ranked 10th in the nation with a record of 6-1-1. A 1-point loss to Auburn, a tie with Memphis State. Coach Bobby Bowden's 9th season, 72-28-1, and he is Florida State's all-time winning coach. And the reason we said this is a $1 million football game, the winner of this game between Florida State and South Carolina figures to have a very good chance to play in one of the New Year's Day games. Otherwise, they may have to go someplace else. And now, join the pandemonium as the hometown folks welcome their team, the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Their record is 8-0. They have a win over Georgia. Marvelous comeback victories on the road at Notre Dame and North Carolina State. This university has never won 9 games in a football season, and South Carolina started playing the game back in 1892. Joe Morrison in his 2nd year as the coach with a record of 13-6. They're ranked 5th in the nation and one of 3 now undefeated, untied teams in Division 1A. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson along with Frank Royal. Frank, this has got it. My goodness, can you believe the enthusiasm that exists in the Midlands of the state of South Carolina? However, we may need a 3-digit scoreboard to handle it today.
Keith, one of the coach's suggestion was that the first team to score 70 points be declared the winner. But why are both teams so successful? They have that ideal mixture between running and passing. And when you go a little bit further, you examine the record, you see the running. They can run both power inside, you close in, they go outside, you bring them up, they throw the football, and got the ability to do all of this because the quarterbacks, the operators of both teams can run and pass equally well. They stress the option play, which puts so much pressure on the defense, gives them too many alternatives, and that's the reason they're scoring 38 points for Florida State a game and 34 for South Carolina.
Now, when you're conceding literally, and I think both coaching staffs have conceded, both teams are going to score offensively. That kind of puts the defensive guy in a hole. You know, he's got to make up his mind, contain or just lay his ears back and go.
Well, he's got, I think all coaches, both squads will recognize and believe that the offenses are better than the defenses of both teams. So what they've been stressing all week is limit these plays, hold them to a minimum, avoid the big plays. That's where you lose football games. And they've been stressing to make the tackles, missed tackles, determine so many games like this, and in particular, Keith, when the other team has the threats that they have at the wide receivers and the running backs.
You've been getting a little bored with the I formation and some of the other more staid. Boy, today you're going to see it. These two coaches have got
everything in the book. Bootlegs, reverses, reverse passes. They'll pull out all the stops in this game. Bobby Bowden has always been known to do this, and when you look at the substitute, the backup quarterbacks for both teams who may play a prominent role in this game, they have been pulling their teams out in very difficult situations. We can expect anything today.
The reason we're calling it $1 million ball game, this one like the one last week, Penn State and Boston College. The winner of this game remains very much in the hunt for a New Year's Day game. That pays over $2 million. If they don't go to a bowl game New Year's Day, then they play for $750,000. So it is a big bowl game, not only in the sense of history for South Carolina, but in the real sense of money.
Teams are on the field for the opening kickoff of this ball game, and let me update you very quickly with two very important notes. Running back for Florida State, the All-American Greg Allen. He drew all the attention of the coaches in pregame warm-ups. Bobby Bowden wanted to see if, in fact, he could play. He must have impressed him because he won't even play. He will start this ball game, and he will alternate throughout with Roosevelt Snipes. Another bit, Eric Thomas will not start at quarterback for Florida State. Instead, it will be junior walk-on Kirk Coker. He played last week in relief when Thomas went out with a hip pointer. He led the team to 3 second-half touchdowns, threw for 203 yards. They want to see how he can play, Keith.
All right, Tim Brent, thanks very much. And we're ready for the kickoff. South Carolina in the garnet uniforms. They'll appear red to you. Scott Hegler will kick it off. 3 deep people for Florida State in the white shirts. It's a sailing, hooking kick that is taken 1 yard deep in the end zone by Roosevelt Snipes, who finds a big hole on the sidelines. He had 1 man to beat for the touchdown, and that 1 man got him. It was Scott Hegler, the place kicker, who saved the TD. Watch this hole open up for the return.
This is the way you return a kickoff. You see the hole, you turn it on, 45 yards, he gets it back, and caught the ball on the goal line. Hegler, the kicker, makes a great play to prevent a touchdown.
And Florida State starts just short of the 45-yard line on their side of the field. We're at the home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, South Carolina, and Florida State turns around and goes to work with Coker at quarterback, and he is caught behind the line of scrimmage, brought down by Frank Wright, a defensive tackle who had looped in and nailed him. Kirk Coker starts at quarterback, a junior, 6'1", 180. Cletus Jones, 6 feet, 220 at fullback. Greg Allen, 6-footer, 200, is the I-back, tailback, and everything else. Hassan Jones, a split end, 6'1", and Jesse Hester, the speedster, is a 170-pounder at 6 feet tall. So the loss is back to the 41, where it is 2nd down and 14. Coker turns and hands inside, and Cletus Jones, the fullback, gets up across the 45, just near the 46. Pat Carter is the true freshman tight end, 6'4", 230. Ionata, a tackle, 270 pounds. Big guy, John. Jamie Duke, 6'1", 270 at guard. The center is Parrish Barwick, 6 feet, 270. The other guard is Dan Morris, 6'1", 245. Strong tackle is Jimbo Thompson, 6'7", 230. It is 3rd down and 9 from the 46 for the Seminoles. They're 47% on the year on 3rd down conversions, and Coker back, hands it off to Greg Allen. Allen playing with a sore leg, loses his footing at the 47, and the Gamecocks have held, and they will force the Florida State Seminoles into a punt in their first offensive possession. They're your defensive alignment for South Carolina. So Lewis Berry will come into the ball game as the punter for Florida State. Just takes 1 step. He's averaging 43.5 yards per punt. Jerry Dunlap is deep for the Gamecocks, standing back inside his 15. The kick is away. It's a high-hanging, good kick for Dunlap at the 11. Wiggles away on the sidelines and hits the chalk up around the 22. So there, South Carolina will go to work. 1st down, and look at these scores. Texas losing today to Houston, 29-15. That will throw that Cotton Bowl situation down there into turmoil. And one of the greatest comebacks of all time in college football or any football, Miami led 31-0 at halftime. Maryland comes back to beat Miami 42-40. So Tim Brandt, that ought to get you about 4 feet off the ground. Alan Mitchell opening as he has all season, comes down the line on the option, gives the ball to Thomas Dendy, and he's decked right along the line of scrimmage. The offensive front for South Carolina, 1, 2, 3, 4 Georgia boys on the offensive front. for South Carolina. 2nd down and 10. Mitchell is back to throw. His pass is away to the sidelines, and it is thrown behind Ira Hillary, number 1. The defensive unit for Florida State. And Bobby Bowden would suggest to you it may be a little better than some recent scores would indicate, because some of these people have been hurt, and particularly in the ball game, he said, at Auburn, where they had to move people around into strange positions. And then last week in that 96-pointer they had out in Tempe, Arizona, you wouldn't have thought anybody was playing defense. But Bobby still thinks it's a pretty good defensive football team.
Keith, he told me yesterday that his team has been hot and cold on defense, and he's hoping for a hot hand today.
Back goes Mitchell on 3rd down. Pressure zone. Get a hold of him. Gets his pass off up the middle. The pass is off the hands of Eric Poole. So Ellen Mitchell, even with the Florida State defender hanging on to him, is able to get the pass away, and Poole almost hauled it in.
When you, in this part of the field, you want to throw the ball short. Give your quarterback a chance to throw the ball in front of the linebackers. Mitchell was just off target as Poole was open and would have made close to the 1st down.
Well, I thought Poole should have caught it, but he was looking at that white shirt coming at him 60 miles an hour.
At 180 degrees, which is the major force of the collision.
Tom O'Connor is the punter for South Carolina, averaging 41.2 per kick this season. Low snap, gets it out. It's a tail dragger, now gets up into the wind a little bit, but it hangs up there long enough, forcing number 24, Darren Holloman, to call a fair catch for Florida State back at the Seminoles 37. That was a 42-yard punt. I will not be surprised when the final accounting is in today that we'll have a new attendance record at Williams-Brice Stadium. 74,500, the ultimate capacity. I think there's more than that here. Roosevelt Snipes is in the backfield for Florida State, along with Cletus Jones. And South Carolina jumps all over Cletus Jones as he pops in there for about 1.5 yards to 2.
Here, the offensive comparisons, you can see that both teams are equally effective with the run, the pass, and when you're able to do this, look at the scoring. NCAA lead by FSU 38-6. South Carolina not far behind, 34-6.
2nd down and 8 for the Seminoles. They're working right now out of the eye. But they do things out of the eye. Here's the pitch back. They're turning it into an option play out of the eye. And Roosevelt Snipes, 175-pounder, runs across the 40 and close to the 43. They're about 3 to 4 yards short of their 1st down.
Here are the defensive comparisons. You can see that the opponents are scoring a lot of points also. Neither defense is rated to have exceptional talent. I was interested in the South Carolina defensive points of interest. They say we're going to run together, we're going to play hard together, and we're going to out-second effort our opponents. And they tell their team, don't watch the clock, don't look at the scoreboard, and just play hard and let the chips fall where they may, and that is their
Well, Otis Morris just left the ball game, Frank. Number 28, the right cornerback, hurt on the play. So they've lost the cornerback already, and Hinton Taylor comes in replacing him. 3rd down and 4, Florida State. It goes to Snipes, and he dives, and he's close. They may need to change for this, and it was the 3rd or the 4th effort that got him there.
The strength of the South Carolina defense rests in their linebackers as combined with Seawright, maybe an All-American, the outside linebacker with 108 tackles, and the middle linebacker Vogel has 111, and Hill, the weak side linebacker, 90. That shows you the strength of the defense, something that Florida State's going to have to handle.
Bobby Bowden, the Seminole head coach there. It's a guy you could spend weeks with. He's a fun man to be around. It's 1st down for the Seminoles. The ball is on the 47. They play on grass here in South Carolina. Here's the pitch coming outside to Snipes, and Snipes with a big cut and great speed. And he's out of bounds inside the 20 at the 15. Bryant Gilliard shoved him out of bounds.
The safety man missed the tackle at the line of scrimmage, something we said earlier. At the bottom of the screen, you're going to see this is the freeze option. We'll talk about that later. Faking the fullback, and Thomas pitches the ball out, and you can see 2 or 3 missed tackles there.
That was a pretty good move by Mr. Snipes to get in that crack, though.
Oh, he turned it on, Keith. When he saw a little daylight, he just accelerated through it. 38-yard gain.
And the 15-yard line, 1st down for Florida State. So the Seminoles are the first to threaten. It goes to Snipes again. Big hole right side. And he's inside the 10 to the 9. Bryant Gilliard again brought him down. Free safety, a senior from Hinesville, Georgia.
Gilliard, the safety, is the third leading tackler for South Carolina. The free safety is programmed to tackle on wide plays. We haven't discovered any way to block the free safety, and you can see he comes over untouched and saves what would have been a touchdown with a fine tackle.
He was the last hope.
The last red shirt.
Just outside the 8 of South Carolina. And second down for the Seminoles, and they go inside with a carry. And there isn't much there.
But he has over a 5-yard average. He's big, number 42, 220 pounds, good speed. You start worrying about Allen outside, and Jones will hurt you in the middle.
It is third down and 3 for Florida State at the South Carolina 7. Coker's pass, loop to the corner, touchdown, Jesse Hester. A penalty flag waiting at the line of scrimmage. Against Florida State. Touchdown, wiped out.
Let's see the isolation on Hester. See the maneuver that he makes. You can see 24. Philpott is a substitute. He's in for Morris, and they go right to him with their great receiver, Hester. Good inside fake. Hard to cover on man for man, and a perfect throw by Coker, but to no avail.
Bill Lance, Lang rather, the back judge. And here's Florida State now looking at 3rd and 13 as the ball comes back out to the 17. They're going to run the reverse, carrying the ball. Hassan Jones, he can also throw it, and does. And it's caught for the quarterback, Coker. I told you these guys have everything in the world in the playbook as the ball comes to Snipes, to Jones, and then the quarterback downfield hauls it in.
Jones had already completed one pass this season, 43-yard touchdown. Here was a beautiful execution of the reverse pass.
Down on the field, Frank.
Well, that would be a tough loss. Seawright is really the heart of the South Carolina defense.
I haven't picked up the number yet. Seawright. James Seawright, number 45, is the man hurt. He got caught in that what amounted to sweep blocking on that side of the field.
But they are well planned. Every time they run the sweep, they peep to the weak side and see if the reverse is there. Something had told them that the reverse was there. Jones has to bubble back, give ground. It looks like the play's over. To everybody's surprise, the quarterback is the receiver downfield, and it's a completion and a first down.
And they're carrying Seawright off the field, and that, folks, is bad news for South Carolina's side.
Seawright not only was a good inside linebacker, he's the kind of youngster that runs a 4.5 and just makes the saving tackles all over the field.
He had 29 last week. It's first down and goal to go for the Seminoles. The ball down on the 3 of South Carolina. This is Snipes looking for a hole. Goes for the corner. Touchdown. And no flags. So Florida State goes to the gadget play on the Carolina end of the field, and they set it up. They lose one touchdown because of penalty, but come back to cash it in, and it counts this time.
Well, when Snipes has the blazing speed, and Hill, the linebacker, just couldn't play it, and there was no quarterback. The man in motion coming across, put pressure. Hampton, the tight end, or the motion man was coming across. The quarterback was out of the play. No support.
Schmidt's kick is good. With 8 minutes and 38 seconds to play in the first quarter, it is Florida State out to a 7-0 lead. 7-0 Seminoles out over the Gamecocks. South Carolina undefeated. They have never won 9 games at this university in college football. That play by Snipes for the touchdown was his 5th in that possession, totaling 57 yards as Florida State went 64 total in 8 plays. Raynard Brown and Kevin White are deep for Barry Barco's kickoff. Low driving spinning kick way back in the end zone, and his teammate says to Raynard Brown, no, don't do that. Yesterday, visiting with Joe Morrison, I asked Joe about the use of the two quarterback system that he's employing.
Well, we're very fortunate. Alan Mitchell does an excellent job of running the option, reading the defenses. Mike Holt has that uncanny ability to come off the bench and provide the big play. And so far this year, it's worked out very well for us. And he's had some real big plays coming off the bench.
And Mitchell is in there for his second series. First down, South Carolina from the 20. Mitchell stands up, a little pop to the sidelines for Hillary. And Hillary is hit at the 25. He picked up 5 yards as the strong safety, Billy Allen, picked him off.
When you try to...
Now Tim Brandt.
Keith, they just finished working on Seawright. It is his left knee. They don't think it is that bad. They think it is a sprain. He possibly could be back in the ballgame. Now, Otis Morris, sprained knee. They think he'll be back, but they have ice on it right now. Eric Poole, the wide receiver for South Carolina, he went in for x-rays. He may not be back. He has a bad thumb.
Thank you, Tim. Quarterback Mitchell keeps the ball and surges across the 30 for the first down. Good second effort run by Alan Mitchell, a junior from Batesburg, South Carolina.
When you try to defense the veer option that South Carolina runs, you try to force them into a passing game. Stop the running. That's Florida State's strategy. According to Bobby Bowden, we're going to get people up there and try to stop their running and force them into a passing game.
I'll tell you one thing, that being 7 points behind doesn't scare either one of these teams.
No, sir. And the reason they can score many, many points during the 60 minutes.
It is first down from the 31, and the ball goes inside to Quentin Lewis. And Quentin Lewis, a senior out of Midway, Georgia, hauls his 200 pounds into Brian Williams, but he's got a big gain out of it all the way near the 43.
The triple option is a read. You can see Mitchell read the ball right there. The tackle goes to the outside. The nose man misses the play, and Lewis makes the first down. The key man is the nose man for Florida State to see if he can tackle on the dive play. Stroud could not. Big gain resulted.
And on first down, here's the option again. Pitch back to Thomas Dendy, and Dendy spins into the open, and he's on his way. It's a tie-ball game if they can kick the extra point. Boy, I tell you, they're both exciting, aren't they? Dendy goes 57 yards.
Keith, the key block was made by Chris Corley, the tight end. He has to block the fourth, the cornerback coming up. He made a tremendous block that allowed Dendy to go into the secondary and turn it on for the touchdown.
Bill Bradshaw, the flanker, picked off the right corner, Eric Williams, too, which helped him some.
Excellent downfield blocking. And wide receivers, the tight end, all have to be blockers in the option offense for both teams. They cannot just be pass receivers. They have to be blockers.
The longest run of the year for Dendy. He scored the touchdown in that comeback victory over NC State last week. Scott Hagler's in for the extra point, and it's tied.
The middle of the screen, watch Corley, the tight end, coming to the bottom of the screen. He makes the key block on the cornerback, Allen, and then, as we talked about earlier, missed tackle. Most long runs result in a missed tackle. Sometimes the ball carrier has the advantage. Dendy made the back, missed him, and went on for the touchdown. Now from the end zone, we take another look. Watch the missed tackle. McCrary, the safety man, right there, 43. His feet slip out from under him. He really had no chance. A good block by the off tackle. I couldn't see his number, making the easy run for Dendy after he broke into the secondary. Good blocking, good execution, outstanding running.
And 7:12 to play in the first quarter. We're just getting warmed up.
One of the South Carolina coaches told me, hope they could hold the score down. I said, what do you mean? He said, we hope it don't get into the 40s. I couldn't believe it.
Here's the kickoff by Hagler. It'll bounce in front of the receiver. It is picked up by Darren Holloman for Florida State. And Holloman finds a bit of a hole, gets over the 20, and then is drilled back. Boy, he got planted by Jerry Dunlap, number 29.
Now let's look at the blocking. Why are long runs made? Hillary, number 1, slows the cornerback down, and then look at the top of your screen, 57, Wumble. The weak side tackle is going to come across. Number 50, a little bit further, maybe we can see it. Didn't quite catch it. but hustled by the left tackle on a play run to the right was the key block for the touchdown.
And from the 22, first down, Florida State now. They go double wide, bottom of the picture. Give the ball off to Snipes. And Snipes cuts it over the 25 to the 26. He is quick. 7-7 here. Let's check in on other scores with Jim Lampley.
Worth, Texas Tech had gone ahead of TCU 13-3 late in the second quarter, but just before halftime, TCU got a touchdown from star running back Kenneth Davis to get back into it at 13-10. We remind you that the Horned Frogs go to the Cotton Bowl if they win the rest of the way. Keith?
Numbers on the Carolina scoring drive. Florida State now, second down and 6. Little pop thrown out to the tight end, Pat Carter. Carter gets loose on the sidelines, and the big freshman rumbles down the sidelines, and they're going to mark it out at the 41 of South Carolina. Paul Vogel got it.
When Jesse Hester makes the number 4, Jesse Hester blocks the back and allows the Ian Adams to go all the way for the big play. This is what we said earlier. The receivers right there, Hester, watch him block the safety, strong safety right there, 31. That allows the tight end to go into the secondary for the big play. Receivers block in this offense.
First down at the 41 of South Carolina. This is Snipes again. Slips and loses the grip with his outside foot, which he was trying to plant for the cutback. And he gets out of it about 5 yards as he nears the 36. USC out to a 3-0 lead over Washington. That's the Rose Bowl game out west today. Nebraska having it easy. Kirk Coker at quarterback. And the first Kansas story out of the Southeastern Conference today, 27-0. Florida rolling over Georgia.
Kirk Coker was a walk-on, Keith. His father was a high school coach. He has that savvy, according to Coach Bowden.
Second down and 5. Turns around, going to set up to throw it. Has nobody to throw to. Now he's got the scramble. He's got 24 available. Drills it to him, and the catch is made. Darren Holloman, a redshirt freshman, coming back to the football.
As we look at some other scores, but continuing about Coker, who was a walk-on quarterback, starting his first game, coming in relief last week against Arizona State. According to the coaches, he's a winner. He was raised in a coach's family. He knows football, has the knowledge, and he has got the guts of a gambler.
It's first down, Florida State at the South Carolina 26 on that catch by Holloman. Deep drop by Coker. He's had Hester wide open, but Hester loses his footing and falls down. They're playing on grass. The field is very firm here and very fast.
As we look at the grass, Keith, this field was an artificial surface for 13 years. They took the artificial surface out last year, had grown this grass in 1 year. Yesterday it looked very good, but we once again see the short cleat, the half-inch cleat, not being able to hold up on give traction on the grass.
So it's second down and 10. There's Joe Morrison, 14 years, a fullback for the New York Giants, went to school at the University of Cincinnati. More as he got things humming here in Columbia, South Carolina. Coker back again. This time rolls it out a little bit, gets pressure, they got it. Good defensive charge by South Carolina as the Gamecocks come blowing in and drop Coker back on the 33. Glenn Woodley was the first man. Tony Guyton was the second man.
The Florida State passing attack requires a lot of time. Play action passes off of the option or off of the draw play allows the defense to really get in there. And that was a perfect example of the receivers being covered and the linemen tackling for the loss.
They call the defensive unit the Fire Ants. And it's third down and about 20. Whistle, stop him, as John Ionata looked to be the man who moved along the line of scrimmage.
There's a dead ball, illegal procedure in Florida State. It'll still be third down.
Kentucky winning in the SEC. It is third down. The football is back at the 38. And they've got to go to the 16, so they need 23 yards roughly. Outside on the option to Snipes. One man to block in front of him. His speed is so great that it oftentimes will take two to get him, and it did that time, but he is well short of the first down as the Gamecocks get him at the 23.
Why would a team run on 3rd and 20? The option play is a pretty darn good play. When the opposing team plays some man-for-man defense, you can make a big play. Snipes came close to what he gained, 15, 7, I guess about 15 yards, didn't he, Keith?
Yeah.
Got him in field goal range.
40-yard field goal try coming now from Derek Schmidt, who is 6 out of 8 between the 40 and 50. He has not missed inside the 40. The holder is Kirk Coker, the quarterback. The kick is away. He's hooked it, and it's outside left. So the Fire Ants take heart over that as they turn away Florida State. 3:30 to go.
From Bryant back here at South Carolina. Behind me, they are taping the leg, the left knee of Jamie Seawright, the outstanding linebacker for the Gamecocks. They are going to reevaluate his knee, but right now it does not look like he will be back. The same with the cornerback for the Cocks, that being Otis Morris. Both now out for the ball game, Keith.
Thank you, Tim. From the 22-yard line, South Carolina comes in now with Raynard Brown in the backfield. The quarterback remains Alan Mitchell. Mitchell turns upfield. He gets a yard.
Last drive for a touchdown, we saw South Carolina run. Don't see any upsets there, do we, Keith?
Well, Iowa's getting whooped right now.
That's a big one. Both teams, Arkansas and Baylor. SMU's come back.
2nd down, 9. Mitchell back, looks, wants to throw deep, can't find anybody. Now got to scramble. He's got some help on that side of the field. Now his pass is away, and the pass is caught by Quentin Lewis out of the backfield. And Lewis is up across the 45 and down at the 46. Martin Mayhew and Eric Williams finally get him down.
Never underestimate the value of a running quarterback. Someone who has speed, sufficiently foot speed to make people miss him. Mitchell has nowhere to go with the football. 3 men rushing, but he has that quickness, the awareness. He moves over, the instinct, and finds Lewis the back, coming out of the backfield for the big, big first down.
Lewis, of course, in there. He's played a lot this year, but he's in as a starter today because of Kent Haygood breaking his leg, who had been the starter. This is a surge ahead by Raynard Brown, a 185-pound sophomore from Greensboro, North Carolina. And he's up near midfield with the game here at Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina.
Both offenses seem to have the advantage over both teams' defenses at this point, as we had suspected.
2nd down, long 6. Pressure's on. Mitchell gets away from it, gets the pass deep downfield, and it is caught. Chris Coley, the tight end. And he's way down yonder at the 13.
But to catch the ball and put his foot down to make it a legal reception, you're going to see him go up. Sensational play to catch this ball and come down inbounds. Watch him go up. Now he's going to put that left foot down right there. That makes it a legal reception.
Yeah, but here's why it worked, Frank. McCrary, the free safety, is 5'11", 170. Corley is 6'3", 250. That's a mismatch. This is Lewis. And he's down at the 5.
South Carolina has a very...
State was going to go ahead with its 2nd touchdown, and a penalty killed them. Now South Carolina has come surging right back. And it's 2nd down, 2 from the 5. Mitchell wants to throw it. They get him back at the 10.
Well, that was a mistake. The pass on the short yardage is good, but not get thrown for a loss. The quarterback should have released the ball and had it out of bounds so that they would have 3rd and short again on the waist down. Never get sacked for the loss.
Now, ball back outside the 10, just barely. And they've got to go just inside the 4 for the first down. So it's a better part of 7 yards on 3rd down.
Frank Sadler, the offensive coordinator for South Carolina, has a tremendous reputation among coaches as a great offensive coordinator.
Lob down to the goal line for the tight end, Chris Corley, and this time Brian McCrary makes the play. He wouldn't let that big hope get in front of him.
I believe if Curley would have come back to the ball, a little jump pass, something that is very difficult, right over to the tight end. Let's see if Curley could come back to the ball. He doesn't. He keeps going towards the goal line and gave McCrary a chance to come in front and knock it down. This is used to drive defensive coaches crazy trying to stop this play from the field.
Hegler for the field goal try. Hits it high and good. And 16 seconds to play in the first quarter. Scott Hegler has kicked the field goal of 27 yards to give the South Carolina Gamecocks a 10-7 lead. Bobby Bowden had a 42-41 loss to Auburn earlier, won last week 52-44. I asked him how his health is.
I'm scared to go to the doctor. I won't check. I will not check it. Yeah, half of my health. My offensive health is excellent. My defensive health is not doing so good.
And he may have the same problem today. South Carolina ahead 10-7. There's a knuckleball kickoff, bouncing on the ground, rolling around, finally picked up by Roosevelt Snipes. And Snipes wiggling around in traffic. You've got to respect him because he is so quick and fast. Quick to get started and fast once he's gone. 11 seconds to go first quarter now as Florida State will go to work at the 26. Greg Allen is back into the ball game for Florida State. He carries a sore knee from the Arizona State win last week.
In a game in which he averaged over 10 yards, a first down per rushing attempt. 223 yards on 21 attempts.
He is really an outstanding running back. So the Seminoles trailing by 3 now will go to work. Coker's pass quickly to Hester, and Hester across the 30 to the 33. And he's picked up the better part of 7 yards on that play. Hinton Taylor makes the tackle. So after 15 minutes in South Carolina, we've got a 10-7 game. Statistics off the first quarter, Frank, reflect the basic nature of these two teams.
Very impressive, as even as you can be. And the reason they're successful, balance between running and passing on both teams, total yards just virtually even.
Second down and about 4. This is Greg Allen. No place to go. No chance. Back on the 25. Now you're going to get a penalty flag. I don't know whether it was the retaliator or whether somebody got there a little late.
Well, there was only one white shirt there, number 86, Scott.
The dead ball, personal foul against South Carolina.
Somebody got there late. Looked to me like it was Tommy Chaikin that might have arrived a little late.
Florida, South Carolina is so fired up. They have Allen, the great runner, for a loss. 2 fine defensive plays. Brooks, number 23, the strong safety, back there like he should be. Now the other teammates come in, and there goes the piling on right there.
It's 99.
99. Danny Miller, the linebacker, taking the place of Seawright, the injured Seawright.
So the penalty gives Florida State a first down at the 40. Kurt Coker running the offense today. Allen, a 200-pounder, and he slashes for 5 up to the 45. Well, next week we've got 2 games for you. Check your local list, and still are, against Texas Tech. See, the Houston beat Texas. Nebraska and Oklahoma both winning. Second down and 5. A little flip over the top. It goes to the tight end, Pat Carter, and Carter gets the first down if it holds. There's a penalty flag thrown along by one of the linesmen near the line of scrimmage.
One of the toughest passes in football, as they discuss the penalty, is hitting your tight end after you fake to the running back. The reason is the linebackers, Keith, have to come up and stop the running back. And then when you raise up and hit that tight end, and that Adams is a freshman, 6'3", they
Carter.
say, holding on to the tight end is what it was.
Pat Carter.
Pat Carter, just a true freshman. What a talent he is.
Face off the penalty here, and we face off our way to Jim Lampley in New York.
We remind you that today in Boston College's victory over Army, Doug Flutie became the all-time NCAA career record holder in passing yardage. He passed Ben Bennett in the third quarter on a day on which Flutie wound up with 19 of 29 for 311 yards and 3 touchdowns, playing with special $750 shoulder pads to protect his separated shoulder. Back to you, Keith.
A roaring crowd of Williams-Brice Stadium as Florida State on first down at the 45. Go into the middle, and the Fire Ants jump all over Cletus Jones.
Keith, there's the Gamecocks. And they are fired up in this state, and Joe Morrison it's no fluke. He is just an outstanding coach. He knows how to win. 14 years in NFL, he looks the part, kind of reminds me of Bear Bryant. I think he's that dominant factor, having played pro football and successful coach. Great future for him.
Second down and 8. Coker keeping it, caught from behind. Brought down by Carl Hill, the weak side linebacker, number 85.
One of the things that hurts the option is the weak side blitz, and Hill, the outside linebacker, number 85, has 4.6 speed. Coker's trying to lay fake up the fullback. He cannot get outside. Those big arms pull him down from behind. That is how to play the weak side linebacker on the option play.
Third down and 11 after the loss. Coker's pass down the middle to Carter, the tight end, and he's short of the first down. Brought down at the South Carolina 42 by Fitzgerald Davis. Bobby now starting to face the sidelines and ask some questions here about how come we're not scoring more.
Well, South Carolina defense, gang tackling, pursuit, that's the name of the game on defense, and they run and
they're going after him, Frank. They got 10 people up there.
A good place to trial block right here.
Lewis Berry gets it out, and they're going to force a fair catch inside the 20, and they do, at around the 17-yard line. Jerry Dunlap handles it all right with 11 minutes and 48 seconds to play in the first half. Carolina leads by 3, and they have the ball, and Seawright's on his way to the doctor. The South Carolina Gamecocks had won their first 5. They went on the road for the first time, a tough trip to Notre Dame. They won there. I talked to Joe Morrison about it.
It was, being on the road, going into a place like Notre Dame that has such rich history and tradition in football, and that was our first road trip of the year, and we were down up there, and but there was really no sense of losing the football game on the sidelines. Everyone thought that we were going to win it. It was just a matter of when.
They came back to win 36-32. Raynard Brown and Anthony Smith now in the backfield for South Carolina, and Mitchell, Alan Mitchell, no place to go this time, is caught and brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Isaac Williams, a junior from Sanford, Florida.
The strength of the Florida State defense is in their linebackers, and Isaac Williams, the best defensive lineman, big and strong and likes to penetrate, tries to penetrate, and he did on the last play.
Second down, 11 on first down plays, trying to run the ball so far today against Florida State. The Gamecocks have run for 80 yards on first down, but zip on second and third. They've had to go to the pass. This time they stay with a run on second down, and they're going to lose another yard on it. Raynard Brown carrying it.
Florida State anticipated the run on this part of the field, which is you would expect, and they got everybody up on the line of scrimmage and stopped 2 running plays.
Gamecocks go double wide, bottom of the picture now. And it is 75,000 plus, which is the largest home crowd ever for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Third down and 12 as Alan Mitchell sets up to throw it. They run him out of the pocket. Gets it off on a little dump play, and it is incomplete. It stayed on the hands of Raynard Brown for quite some time, but he couldn't hold on, and there's a penalty flag thrown back around where the quarterback was knocked down. Was he over the line of scrimmage?
Having an illegal pass. Past the line when he threw the ball.
Yep, I thought he might have been. He was close to it. So he had 3rd down and 12, and he had just stepped over the line of scrimmage when he released the pass. And so you lose it down with that, and in comes the punter for South Carolina, Tom O'Connor.
You lose 5 yards in the down, so they take the penalty. It'll be 4th down regardless. Just 5 yards further back.
There's some history on this Florida State special teams. Blocked 8 punts and 1 place kick.
Joe Weasel is a designated kick blocker. I think he has blocked 4 punts and 1 field goal this season. Remarkable.
O'Connor in the end zone, figures to hit it around the goal line. There are 10 Seminoles up there. What are they going to do? Take the 25 now. They get it off just before the clock ran out. Oh, a dandy kick by O'Connor. Runs Holloman all the way back to his 33. He kicked that thing 67 yards. And a penalty flag is thrown at the corner of the tackle. That'll be a face mask called, Frank, on Steve Gabbard.
Either face mask or piling on. I couldn't tell. Good call. Keith.
It goes in the books as a 57-yard punt, but he kicked the ball, a 50-yard punt. He kicked the ball at the goal line.
With a 5-yard face mask.
And Holloman retreated all the way back to his 33 before he could find a little room to work.
5-yard penalty on the face mask when it's just not turning, and we'll be right.
See West playoff hopefuls go at it when the 7-3 Raiders take on the 8-2 Seahawks. Live at 9 Eastern on ABC.
10:22 to go in the first half. The Florida State Seminoles, after the penalty of 5 yards, move up to their own 49 for a first down. South Carolina leading by 3, 10-7. Kirk Coker at quarterback. Roosevelt Snipes is the tailback or I-back. All kept by Coker. And a little head button at midfield, and there the play stops. Paul Vogel, the middle linebacker, put his helmet right on the helmet of the Florida State quarterback. And Vogel's going to win that match.
Vogel is the middle linebacker. He keys the quarterback. He's the leading tackler on the scheme of defense that South Carolina uses. He must be the leading ball carrier if they're going to have success. He has 111 steps. Leading tackler. Excuse me.
2nd down and 9. South Carolina linebackers well off now, and they're dropping in short zones. There's a little flip out to Darren Holloman, and Holloman is caught short of midfield at the 49. Again, let's check in with Jim. You know what's going to happen, Jim? Jim Wecker's going to start looking for a lake with stumps just under the water.
He's done a great job at TCU. He had a tremendous career at Southwest Texas. He's won wherever he's been, and my premise on coaches is they win.
That's
good
Willie
coaches win
McEntee,
everywhere.
defensive end, coming off the field. He is the 3rd key South Carolina defender hurt in this ball game. The 3rd one. 3rd down and 10 for Florida State. Coker deep. Shoots it down the middle. Pass is incomplete through the hands of Hassan Jones and falls away incomplete.
Florida State took possession at midfield and good chance to move the ball and get in scoring range, but the South Carolina defense came and rose to the occasion. Right here, the ball's behind Jones. He doesn't concentrate on it. Did have the eye contact as he turned to the inside to make the reception. It goes incomplete.
Lewis Berry for the punt. 44 and 25 on his 2 earlier kicks. There's a knuckleball coming downfield, but it takes a Seminole roll and will roll dead at the 14-yard line of South Carolina. With 8 minutes and 55 seconds to play in the first half, a 36-yard punt. Oh!